Now you have learned about subplot. So let's see how to reference um, plot. This is object-oriented method which is shown by Matplotlib. The main idea is using formal object-oriented method to create figure objects and then just call the methods or attributes for that object. Say, suppose I want to make changes to this plot. So I will create an object of this and then I will use all the methods for the changes or modifications for this particular plot. So how to do it? First of all, we will create a figure object. You can do this using plt.figure. Now you will add access to this figure. So fig dot add underscore access. This is used to provide the dimensions to the plot. Axis, this is the distance from left, this is distance from bottom, this is width, and this is height. The first parameter is distance from left, then bottom, then width, and then height. Now if I want to plot, then I will use, now try to understand, this axis object has my plot. Now if I want to do any changes to this particular plot, then I will have to use the axis variable here. So if I want to plot a figure, I will use axis dot plot. Are you understanding? Say I give red color to it, so you have got plot. So again, if we want to provide the names for x-axis, y-axis, use set underscore x label, provide x, again x axis dot set underscore y label method to provide name for your vertical or the y-axis. And if you want to provide title, then set underscore title, say I give name figure. So you can see the relevant changes has been made. Now let's create two plots. This time I will use plt.figure. This will create a canvas for me. Now axis 1, this is my first plot. I will use add underscore axis. You can code along with me if you want, or you can just pause the video and try it on your own. This is my first plot. Now I will create the second one. Say I give 0.2, 5, 4 and 0.3. Again I repeat, this is for distance from left, this is distance from bottom, this is the width, and this is the height. Now you have two plots, so I will plot them. X comma y, suppose I give it color red. Axis 1, okay, I want to plot axis 1. Similarly, axis 2 dot plot y comma x, and I will give green color to it. Now before I run this piece of code, tell me, I have two plots, so these two plots will occur in same box or will they occur in two different boxes? So I hope you guessed it right. These two plots will occur in the same box. Let's see. So you can see that these two plots have occurred in the same box. Okay, the differences of this dimension, suppose I change it to 0.1, so you can see that the distance from left has decreased. So I will restore it to 0.2. So you can see that these two plots have occurred in the same window, and this is how you can create multiple plots using an object. Now, if I want these two graphs to be in separate boxes but on the same canvas, then you have to use plt.subplots as we saw in the previous part. But for object oriented method, the syntax is bit different. Let's see how it is. Before we continue, again here you can set X label, Y label and title. Just mention axis1 dot set underscore X label, pass what you want, and similarly you can do it for axis 2 and axis 3. You can see for axis 1, the red colored graph, you can see the X here, and similarly for axis 2 you can see axis 2 has been appeared here. Then you can provide Y label also, and you can provide title to both the plots. Okay, so let's continue. So we were talking about subplots. So syntax is something like this: figure comma axis plt dot subplots. The subplots will return figure object and it will be stored in this variable, and the subplots will also take care of the dimensions or the axis, and it will be stored in the axis variable. You can see here you have two plots present here. You have to explicitly mention the axis for both the plots, but when you use plt.subplot, it automatically creates axis for you, so it provides the best fit for both the plots. Okay, so let's plot axis dot plot x comma y comma r. So you can see this red has been occurred. Now if you want two plots, so you will have to mention the number of rows. Say one row is enough, and I will need two columns. Now see, you can see that two empty cells or boxes has been created. Now I will use this to place my plot. So let's check the type of axis first. You can see that axis is a NumPy multi-dimensional array. It's ND array. Okay, because it consists of two cells. So if I print axis, you can see it consists of two objects which are of type axis subplot. Okay, now you can iterate through these objects. Okay, see, for iterating I will use a iterator, say ax in axis, and what I want to do, I want to plot, so I will use here ax because now this is my object. Dot plot what I want to plot, x comma y. Say I give color blue, and I will display the figure. You can see this axis exes consists of two objects, so we are iterating using a for loop through this array to plot x comma y with blue color. So because this same statement is used two times in this for loop, that is why we are getting same two graphs. Okay, so if you don't want this, you can also use you can also use the indices, say axis of 0. No, indicing starts from 1, so axis of 1 equal to dot plot x comma y. Say I give color red, and axis 2 dot plot y comma x, and I give color green. Okay, so the array has to start from 0. Sorry. And if I show you the figure now. Okay, so you can see axis of 0, the first box in the canvas, I have plotted a red curve in it, and the second box means axis of 1, in that I have plotted a green line. So with the help of plt.subplots, you can plot multiple plots in same canvas but in different blocks. So let's continue. So after seeing subplots, now you can also decide the shape or the size, not shape, the size of the canvas. For that you use fig size, say figure comma axis equal to plt dot subplots, and I will use fig size attribute, in which I will pass the width and height of the canvas which I want. So let's see, axis dot plot x y r. So you can see this is of width 8 and again this is of width 4, so you can change this to change the size of the canvas. Similarly, with fig size you can provide DPI. Here DPI means dots per inch or the pixels per inch. So you can see that the size got bit enlarged on using DPI equal to 100 because more dots have been placed in 1 inch of distance. So okay, so let's continue. Now if you want to save this plot, you can use save fig method and give the file name. Say I'll use file name dot png. So this will get saved in the working directory. So this is the graph which we saved a couple of seconds before. Let's return to a notebook. You can also mention the DPI here. Say I want it to be 200 this time. So if I check my working directory, I got this F2 image which is more enlarged. So because this time there are more pixels per inch. Okay. Now let's return to our concept of multiple plots. I have figure object and I'm adding axis. Say 0 0 1. Now I'm plotting x comma x square. Here I will pass the values of x in x and x square as y, and okay, so let's do it later. Again I have another plot x comma x cube. Let's see how it, yeah. So these are your two plots. This came in single box because we have not used subplot here. As you can see, the x square, this blue line is the x square graph and this orange curve is the x cube. Now tell me what are the different things which you do, what are the different things which you do to differentiate between two curves. First of all, you can differentiate between two curves using two different colors which are already present here. You change the style. I give it R minus minus, and for the second plot I give G star dash. So you can see that using different colors and different styles you can differentiate between two different graphs, but there is something called as label or legend. For the second plot I will give it label as cube, and for the first graph I give it label as square. And to display these labels we use legend method. So you can see that this legend appears by default on the top left corner of the screen. So you can see that this red dashed line is for x square and this green starred line is for x cube. Now let us see that how to change the location of this legend. You can place it at top left, right, bottom left or bottom right. Okay, so to do that we pass a parameter LOC, that's location, equal to 1 for upper right corner. See, it came in upper right corner. So if you want in upper left corner, then you mention LOC equal to 2. So it came at upper left corner. Then LOC equal to 3 for bottom left, and LOC equal to 4 for bottom right. Okay. Now, if you don't know how your graph is going to look like, then you would prefer Python to automatically decide which is the best place for this legend to appear. So if you want that Python to automatically decide the best place for legend so that it does not overlap with the graph, as you can see this happening here. So mention LOC equal to 0, and so by default it will find the best location for the legend. I hope everything is clear up till now. So let's get ahead. Now here comes some interesting part. Let's look at some styling of these curves or plots. So one thing which I've already told you, that for changing colors you can use this, you can pass third argument as the initial letter of the color followed by the pattern which you want. So we will look at some more patterns. Say I will create a figure first. Oh, wait, I think one is enough. I will mention fig size. Say 12,6. This is based on hit and trial. See, check the output. If you find that the dimensions are good, then keep it, otherwise change it. Figure comma axis. Okay, so my axis dot plot. Say I want to plot x and x plus 1 as y. Now I want to set it as red. Let's see what I get. Oh, it is, the graph is quite big. I will reduce a bit. Yeah, this is better. So you can see x equal to y equal to x plus 1. This is the curve for y equal to x plus 1. It's a solid red line. So if you want a dashed line, so you can use r dash dash. So you see, you got r dash dash. If someone has worked on MATLAB, then he or she might be familiar with this syntax because this comes from MATLAB. Okay. Similarly, if you want green color, you can mention green here. Then you can also explicitly mention color equal to red or color equal to cyan. Okay. Blue or say purple. Okay. Now let us discuss about line width. I will copy this entire thing. You saw how to change the colors of a line. Now let's see how to change the width of this line. So to change width of this line, you can either type the entire word line width, but it's better to use short form LW and mention number. It is the width of the line which you want. See, if I mentioned 3, so the width of this line became 3. By default, line width is 1. So if I use 0.5, so you can see the line became more thin. If I use 5, the line becomes, as you increase the number, obviously the line becomes more and more thick. So this is how you change the line width. Now if you want to change the style, to change styles you use ls, which means line style. Again, you can type the entire word, or else you can use the short form ls equal to. So now mention style which you want. If you mention only a single dash, which means a solid line. If you mention 2 dashes, this means a dashed line. Suppose you mention dash and dot, then this becomes this kind of a line, dash dot dash dot dash dot. Okay. Now if you mention a colon, then this becomes a completely dotted line. There are many styles available. You can check on the matplotlib.org. From there, from the documentation, you can find much more styles. So this is how you change line style. Now let's see how to place a marker. For now, I will change the style to solid line and I will reduce the thickness a bit. Yeah, so this is good. Now, how to place a marker? A marker is nothing but the the explicit points which you plot on the graph. Say, see, these are the points which are plotted 0, 1, 2, 3. You can see from the x, the value of x. You can see 0, 1, 2, 3. These are the points which are plotted on the graph. So to mark those points, use marker. So here, if I use O, that small o is used for solid circular markers. Similarly, if I use plus here, then the markers will be replaced by plus. I think it's not quite visible. You can see, right? The markers have been changed to plus sign. So again, if I change it to S, then the markers are solid square in shape. Similarly, if I use 1, then the markers change to vertical lines. Okay, these vertical lines are used as markers. Similarly, then you can use 2 is for a bit slanted line. Similarly, there are much more styles for marker available. If I use star, these markers will be replaced by star. So this is how you place marker. Now if you want to change the size of marker, then you have to use marker size. Again, you type the entire name or just use the short. So the marker size has changed. Let's try a higher value. Yeah, by using a higher value, you can see that the marker size has been increased. Yeah, it has increased more. Okay, so let's continue. Now if you want to change the color of these markers, then you have marker face color and mention the color which you want. Say I want yellow colored markers, then these markers are changed to yellow in color. But still you can see that these markers are filled with yellow color, but the boundary is still purple or the color of the line, which means this one. If you want to change the boundary color of the marker, then use marker edge color and specify the color which you want. Say I want green. See, the boundary of these markers have changed to green in color. Again, if you want to change the width of those boundary, then use marker edge width and change it to some other number. Okay, so this is much higher number. Even this is high. So you can see at increasing values, the boundary of the marker also increases. The thickness of boundary of marker also increases. Okay, so let's continue. This is my line. I will increase the line width a bit. Okay, so this is fine. This is my plot for y equal to x plus 1. Now there is a parameter named alpha. That alpha is used to show the opacity. Say I use alpha equal to 0.5. You saw that the alpha has become, or the plot has become a bit lighter because it has become more opaque, or sorry, it has become more transparent. If I use 0, then the plot will not be visible because now it is completely transparent. Because it is completely transparent, we can see the background of the canvas. That is why we cannot see the line. If I use 1, which means the line is completely visible. So this alpha is used for transparency. Then similarly, there are many parameters which I can use with plot. You can explore those parameters by from the documentation by visiting matplotlib.org. Again, by explicitly mentioning the color name, you can mention RGB hex code. Okay, this code is for purple. Okay, so you can also mention RGB hex code for the color. This code coincidentally came out to be for purple. If I try another one, yeah, this is for some yellow color. So this is how you mention RGB hex code. Okay, so let's continue.